Hi, it's Kim McGrath from Expressions of the Universe with your stars and cards and updates, highlights for the upcoming Scorpio season and the lunar eclipse, full Hunter's moon in Taurus, entering into November, closing up October. I do want to point out something new that will be part of this channel and every video is a disclaimer that I will present at the beginning of my presentation. Disclaimer to just be smart. This is for entertainment, folly, information, be discerning, always seek medical advice from a licensed medical professional. Always see your doctor if you aren't feeling well. And so my opinions or expressions are merely my own and not that of um, the social media platform. So I will be posting that so that you can all read it, but I wanted to verbalize that just because I had recently had some private or unlisted videos that were flagged and removed. And I don't want to be in violation. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years. And if my channel's in jeopardy of being taken away, I just want to comply and make sure that, you're all aware that you should be sensible and know that this is for my own entertainment anyway. Um, so with Scorpio season coming in, my coffee, I really felt drawn to the quartzes for the crystals for Scorpio season. And I have some here. So I have smoky quartz, which I feel is really important for Scorpio season. It's protective, yet illuminating. It's a great crystal for this time of year, especially with the veil thinning. But then, I want to bring in some positivity. Not that smoky quartz is impositive, but it does protect us against the thinning of the veil, which you can read in my most recent blog article at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. But then we have rose quartz to bring in the love and positivity. Citrine, and this is a heat treated piece of citrine, but this is for prosperity. And then amethyst, you've seen this before that I got from my friend Jen Blake. Amethyst, it's beautiful for our dreams, helps us protect us in our dreams. So I sleep with this under my pillow because with the thinning of the veil, it is believed that, I mean, I believe that our ancestors visit us in our dreams because our minds are so busy and crazy during the day that we may miss their signs. And we're so relaxed and vulnerable at night. But, it's not only our ancestors and our spirit guides that come to us in our dreams, ghosts and goblins that are not benefic can feed off of any lower vibrations that we may be carrying. And then I just happened to bring this in. Oh, you know what? I was looking for this bigger rose quartz and I was wondering where it was. It was sitting here on the table all along. And then I have this piece of ametrine, which is amethyst with citrine in the center, if you could see that. This is really an amazing piece. I love these. So yeah, the quartzes. Of course, clear quartz for clarity and protection. Then I brought some tools of the trade that I use all year round, but especially during this time of year. So I know a lot of people like to sage or maybe use cedar and lavender and different things, which is all great. I prefer Palo Santo. I feel that it's more potent. I do like burning lavender, though, for peace and love, and it smells wonderful. But Palo Santo this is, you know, a half-used stick. You burn it, and then you could smudge around your house. It smells so beautiful, so much nicer than sage. I just can't stand the smell of sage. Maybe that's because the demons in me hate it, right? Um, but I love the Palo Santo bombs that I get from the shop that I do readings out of, my friend Honey's shop, Solutions for Daily Living in Newtown, Pennsylvania. So if you're in southeastern Pennsylvania, you could stop in. She's got everything. She even has holy water behind the counter for those who really need it. But these Palo Santo bombs, they're like an incense cone. So I'll put it in, you know, a metal lid and I'll light it. Children, do not do this. This is not for you, right? And then I'll put it in areas of my home where there's a couple of places in here that are like a portal. Um, and so I will, or I'll set one off in each room. Make sure that you have your windows cracked open to allow not only the smoke to escape, but, you know, spirits that you're trying to get rid of. But yeah, these are great. And I love these because, you know, not that I'm lazy, but I've got a million things going on. So who has time to be smudging every single day? These are potent, they'll last a long time. So you know, you set it and forget it, but don't leave these on an unattended. Don't leave candles or anything unattended. So I can set these off and, you know, be doing my videos like I am here, knowing that the areas of my house are being cleansed at the same time. If you don't have questions or need more information on that, hit me up. And today, the stars and cards, I'm going to be using the Halloween deck from Stacy DeMarco. I talked about this in my last video, but I didn't feel like getting it out of my storage bins. So I did get this for you guys. And then from Raven Phelan, the Messenger Oracle deck. They're, you know, I feel like they're both Halloween, October, November vibes that I get from these two decks. So we'll do the reading with that. Let me start my presentation. And for those of you who are wondering, I am still dealing with my ear and sinuses, although, you know, it is improving. It's just taking forever. Oh, it's just so slow. And I kind of feel that there's an astrological aspect in that. And I'll be showing you what's going on in the astrology using my charts as an example. So this can help you figure out when something's going on in the sky, how to find it in your own charts. I do have a video, Astro 101, to show you how to pull your own chart for free online at astro.com. And if you ever have any questions about that, let me know. And I am going to start doing some more videos like Astro 101 to talk about different topics. I've been wanting to do that. But yeah, life is just crazy and I've been sick for 3 months now. So everything just gets pushed to the back burner. Anyway, it's Scorpio season. It's almost here. I love this time of year. It's my fave. Here is my disclaimer. The content in this presentation is for entertainment, enjoyment, and folly. This program is for informational purposes only. Astrological readings represented in this presentation do not constitute, do not replace, and should not be construed as financial, legal, medical, psychiatric, psychological, or any other type of professional advice on any subject matter. If you require such advice, please consult a licensed professional. Thank you. And then, of course, I have my typical medical disclaimer. That is on my website at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. Just trying to cover my bases. All right, so we've already gotten through half the month of October, so I just minimized these. Coming into Mercury entering Scorpio, followed by the Sun entering Scorpio, and then October 28th. Well, let's back up. October 22nd, Mercury enters Scorpio. For those of you who are listening to audio only, October 23rd, Sun enters Scorpio. October 28th, full Hunter's moon and lunar eclipse in Taurus at 5 degrees. October 31st, we have Samhain, All Hallows Eve, Halloween. November 1st and 2nd, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, also known as All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Hallow Mass, depending on, what you celebrate. November 8th, Venus enters Libra, which is wonderful because Libra is ruled by Venus. So this should be really beautiful, lovely energy. November 10th, Mercury enters Sagittarius. You could see how quickly Mercury, now that it's no longer retrograde, is zooming past. However, when it hits Capricorn, it will go retrograde again, but that's for another video. November 13th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And then November 22nd, the Sun will enter Sagittarius. And that will constitute a new cycle for us. All right, so here's the full moon in Taurus and lunar eclipse. I've pointed out where the sun and the moon are. So the moon is in Taurus at 5 degrees 9 minutes. The sun in Scorpio at 5 degrees 9 minutes. Full moons are when the sun and moon are opposite of each other. The new moon is when they are conjunct or together. So where, from my perspective, East Coast of the United States, this would encompass the 2nd and 8th houses. I always look and see what is the rising sign, because that will give us the overall flavor and ruling planet for the chart. So Pisces is rising. The ruling planets are Jupiter for the traditional astrologers, and Neptune for the modern astrologers. And so with that Pisces energy, especially with the sun in Scorpio, it's very ethereal. The veil would be very thin. So communication with the other side, I do not recommend using a Ouija board for so many reasons. I'm sure I've written an article about it. I know I've recently posted that on Facebook and Instagram as a warning, because you're opening up a portal and you do not know what phone number you're dialing. You could be dialing a demon. And if you don't close that portal correctly, you're just asking for trouble. Seriously. So don't do it. But pay attention to your dreams. So I just wanted to point out the 2nd house, and this is mostly for the East Coast through 3/4 of the United States. This will be taking place in. It could be slightly different, West Coast or over in Europe and the UK, but the overall flavor, it's the 2nd house is about your own resources. It describes what you value, ranging from physical possessions and money to personal self-esteem and your talents. Other keywords are, it's a financial position, values, attitudes, possessions, self-esteem, acquisitions, and your life force prana. The 8th house, the opposite of that, is about the support you receive from other people. It's the house of regeneration. It covers death, sex, legal matters, metaphysics, Other keywords are transformation, regeneration, resources of others, sexuality, death, transmutation, battles, the path of discipleship, taxes, and inheritance, just to name a couple of things. Like, you know, these houses, all of the houses encompass so much. But just looking at this chart, with there being a lunar eclipse where the light of the moon is blocked off from that of the sun, I feel that there could be financial ramifications, especially with Jupiter being conjunct. So what I'm feeling is that there will be a desire to overspend in a declining economy. This is global, worldwide, and with actually having a lack of financial resources or not paying attention to what you truly can afford to spend. You know, we're also coming into the holiday season. So with Venus moving into Libra, not quite at this point, you know, that's not till November. There's opulence indicated. We want to eat well. We want to live well. We want to be generous of heart. And therefore, I really caution all of us to watch our spending. Expect the unexpected with Uranus opposing this. Expect the unexpected. Unexpected expenses could be cropping up. So, and, you know, there's some health indications here as well, which, sorry, I heard a buzzing. So I'm pointing out some of the health aspects that are included. Remember, if you're not feeling well, you have to seek professional medical advice from your doctor. And so the main aspects, we have Sun and Mars in Scorpio, the reproductive organs, the nose, the colon, acute inflammation where Mars is concerned. So I'm wondering, like, do we pick up some sort of an infection airborne? Because that could be this Pisces, Saturn, Neptune. So Saturn in Pisces, the feet, immune system, the lymphatic system, there could be a hardening or sluggishness. Drink plenty of fluids. Make sure that you're sloughing and doing some lymphatic massage. Fluid buildup, right? Can't exit the body. The North Node in Aries, that indicates the head, the blood, the eyes. South Node in Libra on the opposite side, the kidneys and the adrenals. Moon and Jupiter in Taurus, ear, nose, and throat. And I think that's what I'm going through. I'm a Taurus rising, and Taurus and Uranus have just been in my first house. Jupiter makes things bigger, more. And it's been basically within order of sitting on my rising sign. So I think that's what that could be. And I'm hoping maybe this will give me some relief. If not, you know, may not be getting any relief till the end of the year. Both Uranus and Jupiter are retrograde. So you can see where the retrogrades are. If it's indicated by the little red RX. So we have several months before everything is moving direct again. So this is when I'm talking about these aspects, and I say, look in your own chart to see where these things fall. So you could go to astro.com. You can pull up a free birth chart. You can even ask for the transits to be placed in there. I do have a video on how to do that. And you can see where these planets are falling in your chart. So, you know, if you are a Taurus, then you have this going on probably near your sun sign if you're a Taurus sun. If you're a Scorpio, then you would have these aspects going on. And what I'm picking up from these aspects, is that there could be some, heated arguments, some violent verbal verbal abuse is what I'm picking up from this. And then Jupiter being conjunct the moon, it could make us very emotional, which Taurus, like they're so even keeled. However, if you push the bull over and over and over and over again, the bull will explode and charge. So that's what I'm picking up from that. So going into looking at, how I'm looking at placements in a person's chart. For example, this is from the new moon and the solar eclipse that we had on October 14th. And in this chart, you can see that the sixth house of health is where that took place. Now, this is not an exact chart, but you could see the moon was moving close to the sun at 21 degrees, and that would have been the solar eclipse and the new moon. So there could be health indications if you are a Taurus rising. This is why it's so important to know your time of birth, and you can't estimate it. I had a client who I had two different birth times for, about a half an hour apart. And that's what I've been reading for, many years. And I prompted this person, this client, to please obtain a timed birth chart. Turned out that their time was off by 12 hours, 12 full hours. My own birth chart, going by what my mother told me, was off by 3 hours when I got my timed birth chart. So, and I went 55 years thinking I was born at one time. And then, yeah, it took almost a year to integrate into my new chart, because I'm like, I looked at the chart and said, I don't even know who this person is. But now when I look at it, I'm like, how did I not know that I was a Taurus rising? Yeah, it was like an identity crisis. But anyway, get a time birth chart. Um, do not go by hearsay, because it could be extremely inaccurate. Anyway, you can see on this is the new moon and solar eclipse October 14th. Now, looking at the full moon that's coming up on October 28th, when I told you that the full moon would be sitting basically right on my ascendant at 7 degrees Taurus. This full moon is at 5 degrees of Taurus. So, and it's a lunar eclipse in the 12th house, essentially. The sun is in the 6th house. So that's a health axis. 12th house indicates hospitalization. 6th house is healing. So, I'm hoping nothing bad happens. I'm hoping like this is the window of where I'm finally going to heal. Also, too, although the descendant part of fortune and the vertex are taking up space, you could see here in this chart, Venus is at 18 degrees of Virgo, and my Mars is at 18 degrees of Virgo in the 5th house of romance and love. This is a huge indication that this lunar eclipse could bring me the love of my life. I'm excited and I'm waiting. Yes. Also, the IC, which is like, it's the Immium Celli, it's the lower horizon, it's right on my personal Venus. And the vertex, well, the vertex is at 28 degrees Virgo. It is squaring my Venus. The vertex is where people, fated people, destined people come in, but it's in my 5th house. So a destined lover is bound to show up. This is also the house of where children come in. So this could be my granddaughter Ruby being the love of my life, and it's a fated coming in. So this eclipse being in a fixed sign can occur whatever events happen, major life changes can happen 6 months before, up to a year after. But when it's in a fixed sign, it's usually a permanent change, a permanent life change that's happening. So that really could be my granddaughter. Rubes, the Rubes coming in. Big changes happening in my career with Pluto going over my midheaven and my black moon Lilith. A lot of fears about that have been coming up, especially because I'm coming into a closing square to my own Saturn in Pisces over the next 2 years. So something big's happening, but I really feel that that culmination is leading me towards more astrology and tarot readings for all of you. And now the stars and cards, the moment y'all been waiting for, right? The fun part. All right, so I didn't pre-shuffle these. And I'm just going to be winging it here. My daughter is waiting for me. Some of you know that I am painting a mural in my future granddaughter's baby nursery. It's going to take me a couple of months. So a lot of my time is going to be spent doing that and, preparing for this little bundle of joy, my little ruby sky. This deck feels very thin for some reason. First time I've been using it in a year. We're going to make this the card of the week, right? Or the card from now till the end of the month. I don't even know what it is. I just threw it out there, turned it over. Then I'll post about it on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so let me cut them. And as always, I'll start off with Aries, make my way through the zodiac. If I have time, I will timestamp the video, but right now I just want to get it published and out to all of you for your viewing pleasure. Okay. All right, so let's see. What was that card that fell out of the deck? Oh, it's perfect. It's the underworld. It's the symbolization of Persephone. So with the pomegranate, and it says where all things pause and begin again. So if you don't know the story of Persephone and Demeter, and series, the asteroid series that I use in astrology is also indicative of Demeter. So Demeter was the mother, Persephone was the daughter, Hades, Pluto stole her and pulled her down into the underworld. Demeter was so distraught and beside herself. Oh, by the way, Hades, Pluto tricked her into eating a pomegranate, which caused her, Persephone, to be trapped down in the underworld. Demeter was so beside herself that, with her being the goddess of grain and harvest, Mother Earth, so to speak, she started to kill off everything on the earth. And that's where autumn comes in, when all of the leaves turn and fall off the tree and then enters into winter where everything dies back or appears to die back. She then made a deal with the devil, with Pluto, with Hades. And because everybody on earth was starving, because nothing was growing, and his brothers, Jupiter and Saturn, said, because they're brothers of Pluto, you have to do something about this. The whole entire earth is starving. So Pluto and Demeter made a deal that Persephone could come back into our plane for 6 months of the year. That's where we get spring, when everything starts to come back to life. And then everything flourishes in the summertime. And then when we harvest everything, when Persephone is going back down into the underworld in autumn and winter, everything dies off and we start that cycle all over again. So that is the symbolization of this anchor card and the season that we're coming into. All right, Aries, suns, risings, and moons, stelliums, pay attention. You have skull of flowers, and this says creating through the ashes. And you have let go of the old, but it's reverse. All right. So this is saying that you're holding on to a lot of things from the past, Aries, and it's preventing you from not only moving on, but from capitalizing, from manifesting. It's saying use this full moon with the lunar eclipse to let go of what no longer serves. What I love about this, creating from the ashes is saying that even when you think there's nothing left, we always have something to be grateful for. We always have something that we can make out of nothing. Scraping things together, being creative makes me think about, when I struggled financially when I was young, and it's like, okay, can I buy a box of mac and cheese? I could buy 2 boxes of mac and cheese and a roll of toilet paper, you know, and then I would make a really great meal out of it, right? So, but making something out of nothing, that's what I'm picking up with that. Okay. Taurus. Taurus, you have the graveyard, unnecessary fears. My rising sign, right? And I think maybe all these cards reverse? I think I have the deck upside down, but I guess that's just the way it's supposed to be. And let the emotions flow, but it's reversed. So it's saying you've been holding back your emotions on this lunar eclipse, especially with Jupiter conjunct you, Tauruses, you need to have a really good cry. And I think I've been crying an awful lot over the last 3 months, with my illness, with seeing how beautiful things are coming about for my daughter. But unnecessary fears, yes, that they are cropping up. And I think that lunar eclipses do that for us as well. And those fears, goblins feed off of those lower negative vibrations. So we have to try and put that out of our minds. And if you are afraid of something, really just have a good cry, do a good cleansing, and be done with it. Geminis, the apple. And what comes to mind immediately is be aware that all things that glitter are not gold. And just because this apple looks delicious and inviting doesn't mean that it may not be rotten on the other side and poisonous. And this says risk and reward. So if you're getting ready to take a leap of faith, Gemini, you may want to weigh out the risks and reward, because don't quit your job. Seriously, don't anybody quit their jobs at this time, because the economy is not good. And if you have something, keep it, because it may not turn out to be what you think. If you are wanting to leave a relationship for somebody else, it's kind of like the grass is greener on the other side situation. You're going to find out that you're wrong. So I'm picking up the energy of stick with the tried and true. Your card is Hear the Ancient Ones. Interesting, because this is saying the warning signs are there, Gemini, and you are not listening. This is a great time of year while the veil is thin to try and pay attention to the ancient ones. Pay attention to your dreams, because They're coming through, giving you big warning signs. Pay attention to the animal totems as well that are showing up in your life, because those are big indicators of caution, or, go forward, be cautious, or stop in your tracks. Cancers, skull of stars. And this is infinite possibilities. So when I think of this, it makes me think of the tarot card, the star. It's hope, it's faith, it's holding on. It's knowing that something wonderful is coming. Infinite possibilities are saying the only limitations that you have are right up here. Self-made limitations, self-limiting beliefs, right? Oh, all the cards are not reversed, I'm happy to find. So I guess those were meant for us, right? You have observe in silence. And I think this is really great because this kind of is a respite time for the Cancer suns, risings, and moons. And it's just saying, pay attention to what's going on around you very quietly, very stealthily. And you can capitalize on that knowledge that's coming forth to you. Leos. Leos, eternal love. Love never dies, even when people do. And I think this is really important because I know a lot of Leos are going through a lot lately. And, I have a Leo moon, so I really, I do get that. It says love is love is love. And it transcends physical physical death. Basically what I just said. And on Wednesday, in my Wednesday wisdom that I posted on Facebook and Instagram, I wrote something that I heard my mother whisper to me in spirit probably more than a decade ago. And it said, just because, well, she said, just like the moon and the stars on a cloudy night, just because you can't see me doesn't mean that I'm not there. And it was, I'm hoping that, those of you who saw that post, I figured some of you might think of it as like a faith-based thing, which fine. Or maybe it would give you the hope that knowing that just because you can't see your loved ones, they're there, they're with you all of the time. And that's what this card is representing. Okay, and your card is Embrace Spirit. So this would say to me that there could be, with the Leos, suns, risings, moons, there could be that lack of faith, of, such deep-seated grief that you're not hearing this or seeing the signs of your loved ones. And I get that, especially if the grief is fresh. You won't hear or see the signs. That's why it's so important to get a good night's sleep and allow yourself to dream, because when we are grieving, if we can't hear and see those signs, our loved ones will come to us while we're sleeping because our mind is shut off, we're relaxed, we're vulnerable. So pay attention to your dreams, especially over the next month while the veil is thin. Virgos, you have the witch. Well, I know a lot of Virgos that have been called as such. I do have a Virgo stellium, so I get that. This says the earthly weaver of the worlds. What magic are you making? Know that every time you cook yourself a meal, every time you speak a word, every time you think a thought, Virgos, you are weaving magic into the world, magic into your life. So be very mindful of the intention that you're putting in while you are cooking. Be very mindful of the words that you speak and the thoughts that you are thinking. And your card, your companion card, is Seek the Lesson. So this is saying that a lot of lessons have been showing up for you, Virgo, and you just really haven't been paying attention. You've been ignoring the warning signs. Um, yeah, so I would say, stop blaming, stop pointing fingers, pay attention to your patterns and the lessons or the people that have been showing up in your life. They're coming in for a reason to teach you the lesson that maybe you're not getting. Um, there's a resistance there that I'm picking up. Libra, the lamp, it's remembrance. And the lamp is about shining a light, lighting a candle, remembering our loved ones. But with this full moon, the full hunter's moon, it's also asking to not keep yourself so stuck in grief. Light that candle in remembrance, in honor of a loved one, and allow your emotions to go and flow instead of holding on to it. Your card, it's the green man, it says embrace the masculine. What am I picking up with that? Okay, especially with it being reverse, it is card 11. So I feel like that's a symbolization. Um, embrace the masculine. So maybe your soft side has been coming out a little on the plus side. And maybe it's self-limiting beliefs about being more balanced. So this is Libra. And you need to find the balance between your masculine side and your feminine side. And this is really talking about being strong and having the strength and being self-sufficient and self-serving a little bit. Relying on yourself for fulfillment and not so much from others. This is also saying it's time for you to put in the hard work and start producing. That's what I'm hearing and picking up. Scorpio, werewolf. Well, it is the full moon coming up and the lunar eclipse. It says exploring your wildness, but in typical Scorpio fashion, like you like to keep that undercover. This is saying maybe let your freak flag fly a little bit. Allow yourself to relax. Don't you don't have to be on guard 24/7. You can allow yourself to be a little vulnerable with those that are close to you. It feels like putting up this protective shell all the time and not allowing that to come out. And then you get a few drinks in you, and people see a side of you that they never knew existed. That's what I'm picking up for from this card, exploring your wildness and your weirdness. Uh, then we have a transformative little butterfly fairy, but it's reversed. It says love without conditions. And I feel like Scorpios really have a difficult time of loving without conditions. They put conditions on a lot of things. This is about transforming the way that you love and possess or obsess about people, or the way that you hold on. So this full moon in Taurus, opposite the sun in Scorpio, is just asking you to loosen your grip a little bit and learn to love unconditionally, not only yourself, but others. Sagittarius, scrying. This is perfect for the Sagittarius mind. Scrying is when you're looking into a crystal ball, into a candle, into a mirror, into a pool of water. There's so many different methods. This is for seeing, getting visions of the future. We could all do this during this time. This is called intuition. And for Sagittarians, this is a great time to really listen to your intuition, tap into it, because it's going to give you the next steps for how you are going to come into your birthday year, to come into your season. All right. And you have protect the wild and the green. And this is talking about not being wasteful, being a little more conservative, especially with the environment, with what's outside. Um, Putting up ethereal protection barriers is what I'm hearing around your property, around your space, around your loved ones, around your familiars, your beloved animals. Use the scrying to guide you as to exactly what you need to be doing. Capricorns, winter. Well, that's Capricorn for you. This is indicating, Capricorns, to take a rest period before you come into your season. Settle down, calm down. You are a human being, not a human doing. Don't overdo it. You'll burn yourselves out. This is the sacredness of pausing for just right now, Capricorns. And the card that you are getting from the Messenger Oracle is Honor Gaia, honor the earth. This is asking, have you been wasteful? Have you been wasting resources, not respecting the earth, not respecting its animals? Whereas, like the previous card, Sagittarius, was saying, protect the earth, protect the animal. This card's coming up saying, well, I think this is really indicative of the entire world, especially with Pluto in Capricorn at its final degrees before it goes into Aquarius. Um, for lifetimes, we have been wasting resources. So this is just asking you to be mindful of how you're treating the natural resources around you, Capricorns. Aquarius, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, the Lady of the Dead, honoring your ancestors, honoring who came before you, making an altar, putting their pictures up, offering flowers, food, delicious drink. This is acceptance and equality, knowing where you came from, who you came from. That this is about that. But this is also saying this is a time for you to accept and respect and value who you are. What is your self-worth? Are you embarrassed from the place that you came from? Try to find those roots that would make you maybe proud. Your card is stay strong. Stay strong. It's the dragon. Know that you are a warrior, Aquarius, through and through. I love this. Last but not least, Pisces. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. So it says mischief and play. But what I'm picking up for this is you have a choice here, trick or treat. And it all depends on how you are treating others and yourself. If something benefic will come your way or something malefic will come your way. I wrote in my article about the costumes and the jack-o'-lanterns and how they were worn or put out on porches to protect evil spirits from entering our home or stealing us away and pulling us into the underworld. So this is just saying, stay in your highest vibe, Pisces. Do not be playing any tricks on anyone. Be kind, generous, courteous. And this is an interesting card. Embrace the dark. But it is reversed. And this is saying that you may be a little bit afraid of this time of year, especially if you're a Pisces. You're already connected to a thin veil 24/7. Use smoky quartz for sure. Maybe a little black tourmaline, a little selenite. Sleep with them under your pillow, carry them in your pockets, wear them as jewelry for the protection, hematite. So this is saying embrace the dark. because I feel as though for a lot of Pisces, there are spirits on the other side that are wanting to be in contact with you. And maybe your fears have been shutting them out and shutting them down. Let me just make sure I got everybody. 10, 11, 12. Okay. Because, who knows? I'm still trying to get over this ear and sinus infection. It's not an infection, it's just like filled with fluid and clogged up. You, I hope you enjoyed this. Happy full moon, happy Halloween, happy Dia de los Muertos. Um, Happy thinning of the veil. I have tons of spooky articles of real life things that have happened in my life. You could search thinning of the veil, eclipses, in my in my blog. Over the past couple of years, I have even shared with many of you. I probably have videos, but it's also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, orbs and different EVP phenomenon that has happened to me. So yeah, if you're in for a good scare, go check it out. And I'll be back hopefully within the next couple of weeks with a new fresh video for you. Thanks again, and happy Halloweening.